wizard.
4.
Why so serious?
3.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
We have a hope.
2.
Show me your moves.
I'm Groot.
1.
We're losing it at Flicker Shield. Don't trap yourselves in. I'm going to make a jump to light speed.
Go!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our inaugural podcast, episode 1.
Welcome to the Random Fandom, a show for everybody.
That is nerdy.
Oh, and what is this show about?
Well, why don't I tell you? It's
Why wouldn't you?
It's a show about comics, about movies, about books,
What else?
about TV shows, about cartoons, about everything nerdy. And it's about everything that you're a fan of, except for sports.
We don't want any sports fandoms in here. You're not welcome. You're welcome at ESPN, just not here.
Oh, man.
So anyway, we're going to be going on about tons of nerdy fandom stuff. Each of us have our own little niches or areas of expertise.
Who is all of us?
All of us. Thank you,
I'm
Matt.
glad you asked.
I am Nick Vittorio, and I will be expertising, that's my new word, in Lord of the Rings. I am the ring bearer of the group. And DC, as in DC Comics, area is my area.
Welcome, Nick.
Thank you.
Welcome, the Ring Bearer. Hello, I am Matt Muich. You may call me the Holocron Keeper. For all of you who don't know, that's Star Wars. Keeper of the Information.
Oh,
Yes.
I saw that in a thing.
Yes. Thank you. I specify mostly in Star Wars and a little bit in everything else.
Awesome. Well, I am Josh Muich. I am the local Smash hero. I play Super Smash Brothers. I follow The Legend of Zelda.
He is the Legend of Zelda.
We're your
thank you.
hosts, us three,
Yes.
Nick.
You will be hearing a lot
I'm
from
Matt.
us.
I'm Josh.
We
again.
also have Ms. Katie Montgomery here on the
Hello.
microphone as well. She's going to help us with fact-checking,
Keeping them real.
keeping it
'em
real.
honest.
She's the keeper of the realism. And we also have Mr. Adam Altoff on the sound station.
Do you want to speak up?
Oh, hi! That is Adam Altoff for you. So, just getting into this podcast, why are we doing this, guys and lady? Why?
Well, I know that I started listening to a couple podcasts.
I listened to them first, and then I introduced them to you.
Yes.
Josh is also a hipster.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
start trends. Drink Monster, yo.
Alright, so we've been inspired by a lot of different podcasts. In particular, Screen Junkies has been awesome. They're movie fights, if you have never heard of them. They just talk about these different topics centering around film. But they bring forth a lot of really cool ideas that we all have our own opinions on. So we're going to get into the rundown of the show, but the end is usually going to be a debate / discussion topic, whether it be our own or if it was inspired by a movie fight that we saw. So please check them out, but we're also going to discuss a few things from their show because it's sweet.
Another podcast that I listen to for any other Star Wars fans that wants more Star Wars than just what we provide here, Jedi Alliance. They are brought to you by the Schmoes Know podcast.
Popcorn
Talk Network.
Network.
That's a great show. All of the Schmoes Know shows are great. Yeah, you should go check them out. But yeah, all of them have interesting things to say, and I'm like, hey, I have interesting things to say about those topics and stuff. I want to talk about those. I want to talk about those with people. And so we kind of developed this podcast as an outlet to share our thoughts on these topics and what we think, our views.
So instead of letting it just brew and rot inside of us, we're giving it all to
Gross.
you.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Well, it is disgusting. That's why we're getting rid of it.
That's why we're getting rid of it.
Okay. So the rundown of how this show is going to go is we're going to start off not with an introduction of the crew, but maybe guest stars.
Yeah.
We'll have quite a few just local people, and depending on how great this show turns out.
Maybe some better people.
I mean, not that anyone here is not great, but so we'll have the news just to start out with, some interesting things that we find that happen throughout the world of nerddom, fandom, nerdy fandom, and then we'll do faux shows. That's Josh's. If you want to give a little blurb on what that is.
Oh, faux shows is our segment about any kind of show that anyone has a fandom for, and so that would include any type of
Cartoon,
cartoon,
any TV
nostalgic cartoon or some recent anime. Though none of us watch animes that much, but we'll get to that later.
And speaking of nostalgia, that's Matt's little blurb,
Yes.
area.
I'm in charge of the nostalgia trip. It's where I go back and give you a topic about something that's I get nostalgia from, and something that hopefully you will too. Something that's awesome from my past, and that I hope you will enjoy.
All of our past.
All of our past, yeah.
I was there too. Wasn't born yesterday.
You were in his past?
Yes.
Go way back?
Go way back.
And then we'll end with a debate / discussion. I think Katie's going to be kind of our mediator to kind of. I don't know if we'll keep a running tally of who wins these puppies, but
We could, but I mean, it depends on who's here. And
We'll
whatnot.
remember.
We'll remember.
we'll remember. All right, we can always go back and look. But that's pretty much the rundown of our show. So without further ado, let's start out with the news.
Hey guys, it's Matt. Here with the Star Wars news of the week. The first issue of Darth Vader came out this month. Marvel Comics has just started making Star Wars comics again. They got the rights to it, and they started off with Star Wars last month, and now they are into Star Wars Darth Vader. It's its own comic series. It'll come out once a month, and it'll be based around Darth Vader's point of view. If you ever want to see what the dark side is like, that's him. It's based off of. It starts after Episode 4, A New Hope. For everybody who knows the original, it's just called Star Wars. So it follows the story of Darth Vader after there. Also, in the Star Wars news this week, do you like gaming Star Wars? Because I do. And
Games are fun.
games are fun. Video games are fun. So if you go to the website called Humble Bundle, they have a Star Wars sale right now where you can
We'll
get
throw that a link.
in the description below. We will throw a link.
Where's Link?
Oh man, Zelda puns. Everybody. Enjoy them. At humblebundle.com, they have $137 worth of video games, and you have to pay, I think, what is it, like 12 for
3 easy payments of
No.
all of your money.
No, it's
Sorry.
only $12, and you get 12 games. That's right,
That's like-
12 really good games, including Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Republic Commando. You have
Battlefront 2 is
you have
awesome.
Knights of the Old Republic. You have The Force Unleashed 2, The Force Unleashed, the Ultimate Sith Edition. All these great games, and yeah, you only have to pay like $12.
Katie, can you run the math for that? How many is that per game?
That is as low as $1 per game.
Oh my
Wow, that is
Can't
incredible.
beat that.
And the best part about it is all the money that is put into Humble Bundle goes to charity. And so you're
That's
paying
cool.
for games, and you're giving to a good cause, and you get a lot of it. So
It's a win-win.
everybody wins, yeah. That's the news in Star Wars this week, the Darth Vader comic and the Humble Bundle.
Awesome. Up for this week, some Zelda news. So, everyone loves Netflix. You watch it, you binge watch it.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you
We're in
waste way
college,
too much.
yeah.
Yes, you waste way too much of your time. Well, guess what? Nintendo's thinking of making a Zelda live-action series for Netflix. Let me look up the details for you.
What do we initially think of that?
Right, my first thoughts is, oh no.
All right, here's a quote. They said it was going to be family-friendly version of Game of Thrones.
Oh boy,
Sounds like quite the task.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think they meant more of like just the fantasy because that's like the most popular fantasy out. But it's a strange way of putting it.
It
It is
is.
a very strange way of putting it.
A paradox.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of want a good Zelda live action, but I mean, how good can they make it live action?
The big struggle is video game adaptations of, film adaptations of video games rather are hard to do.
Zelda. There's been a Legend of Zelda TV series back in the 90s. It
Fact
was.
check that.
Oh yeah.
Katie on the fact check. Keep
Well,
it
excuse me, princess. That's where that quote
Oh.
came from. If you've ever heard that.
Very infamous.
Dates back as far as 1989.
1989.
Wow. The 80s.
Wow.
It's an
That's-
80s child.
And ended 1989, for those of you curious.
Okay, there we go.
A long 3-month reign.
All right, well, cool. My little piece of news is it is just a little piece of news. Spider-Man joins
him?
Marvel.
What?
Wait, what is this?
Yeah,
I thought he was always a part of Marvel.
I thought Sony had him. What is this?
Well, they still kind of do. I would picture this, if you're trying to grasp what it is that's going on, is it's like, I don't want to say a divorced family, but kind of like that. It's like a stepdad. They're kind of sharing the Spider-Man name now. So it's a custody child, so to speak.
So what you're saying is, who had the rights originally to Spider-Man? Well, I know Marvel made Spider-Man.
Yes.
And
But
then-
Sony has had the rights since 1999, and they did what they did with Tobey Maguire, and then they did what they did with Andrew Garfield, and with the whole hacking thing, Sony is just quickly going downhill. We've all heard about it. So I can only assume that this is their opportunity, and desperate attempt to climb back into things. So what's going on is Amazing Spider-Man 3 is canceled, but they're still going to be going with Sinister Six, as well as maybe a female Spider-Man or Spider-Woman, rather. And any money that they make off of that, Marvel will not make money off of.
Okay.
But they're also, letting Spider-Man back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or what is that called, Matt?
The MCU.
The MCU.
That is lingo that we'll probably be using a lot
Yes.
since we're talking movies, Marvel, anything.
So we'll see Spider-Man in the MCU now, and Sony will not make money off of that. So again, they're just kind of sharing the Spider-Man name, but look forward to seeing Spider-Man. Maybe not in Captain America 3 Civil War, but Infinity Wars for sure.
For sure. I mean, are we happy about this? Is this a good
This
thing?
has been my lifelong dream. When I first heard
Really?
of the Sony hack, I was like, please let Marvel get Spider-Man, please. And
Why?
it came true. I love Spider-Man.
Okay.
He's my favorite superhero.
Wow, I've never heard you say that.
You heard it here first,
a
folks.
first favorite on the Random Fandom, everybody.
Wow. Matt, what do you think about this?
I like it. I think so far with what Marvel's been doing with movies and everything, I think that they're the best people for it. With the fiasco that was The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and also Spider-Man 3, I think Sony's had enough. I don't think that they deserve another chance.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We don't want another reboot, though. Let's be clear with that. I don't think...
Yes, just jump into Spider-Man being Spider-Man.
Yes, talking about this before, but, we know Spider-Man. His story is he's just like Batman. Batman is pretty much the poster child of DC, arguably, and Spider-Man is the same. It's Stan Lee's favorite character. So we know his story. We're done. We've had 2 reboots in the last 10 years or so.
15, I'd say.
15.
Yeah.
Just to be
Could we get a
safe.
fact check on that? Thank you,
But I
Katie.
mean, look what they did with the Hulk
About
in the
12
Avengers.
years.
12 years,
12
okay.
years. Okay. Look what they did with the Hulk. Like, they just threw him in the Avengers. Granted, we had a couple mildly interesting movies about the Hulk. But, you know, again, he just walked right into the Avengers and was just fine. We love him.
Oh,
Mark
we love
Ruffalo.
him. I liked him way better in the Avengers.
My
than
second
either
favorite
movie.
superhero.
Yeah.
Second favorite superhero.
Because he's green, that's my favorite color.
I mean,
That's a good reason.
I think that we're sick of Peter Parker reboots. I think we're done with the Peter Parker origin story. I don't want another Peter Parker origin story. I'm fine with him jumping in, or if we get another version of Spider-Man. The comics have gone from Peter Parker. Spider-Man has changed to a different character. If we get one of those stories, I think that would be cool too. I mean, it's more expanding than just the original comics, and I think that would open a lot of doors to other fans to, you know, maybe go into comics more or to other stories.
Mm-hmm. Do we want Sony to keep pushing Spider-Man, or are we pretty much done with that?
I would like Sony to keep losing bits and pieces of Spider-Man until it's all Marvel.
Just bleed until there's nothing left.
Until they die. Even the Sinister Six movie, though. Really? Matt, I know that you like Spider-Man's villains.
I do like Spider-Man's villains. I love Spider-Man's villains.
Sony's had a bad history of putting too many villains in movies and haven't not really work out.
I think that Sony shouldn't have it though. I think Marvel would do a way better job. I think Marvel actually needs better villains, Spider-Man's villains, in their universe. So
Marvel is aching for a good villain, in my opinion. Aching.
I think that we'll get to these sort of topics in our next episode, so we'll save a little bit of the conversation for then.
Fine. All right, moving on. Next, we're going to do just a movie recommendation, it looks like. This week, we are going to recommend Birdman. We've been on a Oscar kick since the nominations have been out, so we've checked out not only a few Oscar-nominated movies, but as well as some of these snubs. I know we watched Nightcrawler, but Fury, Lego Movie, of course.
Oh, Lego Movie, yeah.
But this week, we're doing Birdman. So what do we like about Birdman?
Well, first of all, what's the most unique part about this movie?
The most unique and the most fascinating part about this movie that makes it just kind of blows my mind is that it's all one shot.
It's not all one shot.
Most of
it was made to look like
yes.
one shot.
It looks like one shot.
Mm-hmm. The digital parts that they did were to make it cut in a way that.
But it's still fascinating.
It is. It looks amazing.
The parts that weren't cut, like I don't know how they did it.
Right. I mean, they didn't do different angles, so it's really interesting, and I think it makes the acting in it seem a lot better.
I mean, it kind of makes you just feel like you're there.
Mm-hmm. It's almost real time.
Yeah, you're just like another guy hanging around.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, I think that this movie is. I really liked it for sure.
I think we all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ending is a spectacle for sure. People have been talking about it. I know that we have been talking about it, and that's what we like in those kind of movies. Is I wouldn't call it a controversial ending, but it's certainly a talked about.
Yes.
Something you can talk about, something you can converse with. I mean,
but I personally think this movie was carried by the performances, because Michael Keaton, man, if he doesn't win Best Actor, I will be shocked.
I'd go along with you there.
Mm-hmm. Emma Stone nominated
of course.
as well.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy.
I mean, I mean, you also have Zach Galifianakis, who
I didn't realize it was him.
Played a really good role. I mean, you normally see him as the funny guy, and he was really really good. He was serious. You also have Edward Norton in there, who played fantastically.
For all those Wes Anderson fans, maybe like The Grand Budapest, check this one out.
Yes.
There we
That's
go.
another fantastic movie that Katie and I have seen it. I don't think you guys have seen it.
I would
If
love
If
to
you haven't
see
seen
it.
it, I recommend.
Yes.
We'll have to watch it sometime. But this movie is about a man who was in a superhero franchise. Michael Keaton's character played the role of Birdman, a superhero back when, and he's kind of a washed-up guy. That was his only real role, and so he's making a play. He's writing it directing it. He's also one of the main characters in it.
He's just trying to get back on the map because everyone views him as just a washed-up blockbuster Nicolas Cage-esque person.
Right. And so it's the story of that play, the making of it, and the performances of it, and those scenes behind it, what goes on around it, and it really shows...
The whole movie is contained in the one building that plays the production.
Really good movie. Definitely check it out.
If you're a fan of plays, that would definitely a must-see for you.
Oh,
It's an artsy movie.
Another thing is that it takes place in our own universe, like the one we live in today, except that Michael Keaton's character was in Birdman, and that was a movie. It's like that's the only thing that's different. Everything else,
Right.
It's very culturally relevant.
Right, and except for each of the main actors are not themselves, they are different characters.
Yes.
I think it's also kind of funny that Michael Keaton was a former superhero, and he actually was a former superhero.
And what superhero was that?
Batman!
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on. Thanks, guys.
Our next segment is brought to you by Josh.
Oh, hi, I'm Josh. And I'm going to present faux shows. Today's show is Attack on Titan. Now, it is a...
Interesting show.
It's a very interesting show. It's an anime, but it's not like any other anime you've ever seen. It's very dark.
I'd say, yeah, it's really dark.
It's pretty dark.
It's pretty brutal. For people who don't like anime blood, I guess, that probably
the
isn't the right
grotesque
one. Yeah.
amount.
It's a little bloody, but what's it about?
Well, it starts out with these young children, and they're within these walls. These walls have been protecting them for hundreds of years. Am I correct in that?
I
Something
believe
like
so.
that.
Yes.
And these walls, these walls are in place to protect them from these giant beings that they call Titans.
And
these
giant naked people.
Yes, these Titans are giant naked people.
I wouldn't call them people.
but-
They look like
Yeah,
people.
They look like humanoid looking. Don't worry. Even though they're naked, there's nothing to see.
They're like giant Barbie dolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but with just the freaking creepiest looks.
And by giant, we mean about 200 feet.
Yes.
200 feet tall.
Just giant.
Yeah, they can.
Though some are larger than others.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
small ones. There are.
The bigger they get, the less skin it looks like.
But what these giants do, what these Titans do, is they eat people, and that is why these walls have been erected. Actually, no one knows why they were,
No one knows.
or how they became to be. But one day, the walls fell in one part,
The walls
and-
were broken through.
and then these children, some of their parents died, others lived, but they had to go to the inner walls, and many people died. It's very disappointing. But through all this, Aaron, the main character, Aaron Jaeger,
Jaeger.
Jaeger is the German word for fighter.
yes,
Oh.
he vows his revenge on the Titans, on all of the Titans. He wants to kill every single last one. And as he grows up, he joins the military, and he tries to fight them. And
They have,
it's
like,
really great. They got
Weird contraptions that
they
shoot
have
from their
3D
hips.
maneuver gear. They call it something else in the English translation. But it looks really awesome. It's kind of like Spider-Man. They move around like
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
It's an interesting show.
And then they use giant swords to cleave off hunks of these titans.
Yeah, so if you're not usually into anime, but you do like a dark story, this would be perfect for you. Because it's not like really any other anime I've ever seen.
I think the art in it is really cool.
I would agree.
Mhm.
I'm not by any means an anime fan. You guys kind of introduced this show to me via the abridged,
The abridged version on
which
YouTube.
is hilarious.
If you look on YouTube and you go under Attack on Titan Abridged, I know that the creators who originally put it up, Team 4 Star, they had to take it down for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. but
can
other
still find it.
people did get it, and they have put it back up there.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's hilarious, especially if you've seen it. So if anybody that is listening to this has seen it already, check out Abridged. It's hilarious. Probably my favorite YouTube video, actually.
So there's only been one season of this show, then.
Yes.
One season of the show.
So
One season, like it
Are they
did like the
working on
halfway
more?
thing. They are playing. It should be
it's a
coming later
huge
this year.
comic book series.
Oh, there are
isn't
so
it?
many.
Yes.
There are so many fans out there for it.
They're actually making a movie. Believe it or not, like a
Oh,
live action
geez,
movie.
There's only been one season of it.
Yes.
But the comics are still coming out, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
they-
there's a huge
Yeah.
wall of them at our local Barnes and Noble. But yeah, interesting. I just think it's something I've never really heard of until I started talking with you guys. But apparently, it is huge, and I did watch the first season as much as I don't like anime. But yeah, it was cool. I guess maybe they'll go into more history on why the heck all of this is even happening.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what they were hinting at the end. That there's something more to it, and you can tell just by watching from the first episode to through the entire season. You're like, wait, there was something in there, and they didn't touch on it. What was that? You know that they're going to come back to it.
They're going to go way back. And speaking of going way back, let's segue into Matt's nostalgia trip.
Welcome to the nostalgia trip. This week, one thing that I'm sure, I hope, I pray that you guys have already heard of this. It's a little connecting blocks called Legos. All right, they're interconnecting bricks. They were developed in 1949. They're based in Billund, Denmark.
Wow.
So this is an international toy, basically. Legos was a huge part of my childhood, especially the Star Wars Legos.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. But
I think
no,
that might be
Lego-
my first Lego set, actually.
Mhm.
It was a sand speeder.
The Legos, they come in sets normally. They're bricks. There's characters. There's objects. You can build them into basically anything.
They're also extremely efficient booby traps.
Yes, if you leave them on the floor, they do hurt.
Yes.
But as a kid, I always loved building things and making stuff. Star Wars, like, that was so much fun because you were kind of back in the movies with the Legos and flying around. I had the snow speeder. That was my favorite.
Did anyone have just a giant bin?
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
We
everyone
still
has-
do.
Everyone has a giant bin of just, and you lose all of your Legos. You look for one piece for hours and you never find it.
The fire sword.
The
Yeah.
fire-
Yeah. The lightsabers are pretty cool too, until you like chewed on them and then they look like poop.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Because it was young.
Lego is huge, though. If you haven't played with Legos as a kid, I'd
feel
recommend
sorry
doing
for
it
you.
now. You can build great things.
It's for all ages, really.
It really is for all ages. They have so many different like characters. They have just generic sets. It's not just for guys. It's not just for girls. It's for everybody,
Even Adam.
even Adam.
Adam, did you play with Legos?
I certainly did.
Oh.
Legos. They've jumped on with Star Wars. They've jumped on with Harry Potter. They've jumped on with Batman. They've jumped on with the Avengers now.
You know what they didn't do?
What?
Lord of the Rings, which made me so mad.
I think they have.
No, they did, but like
Not when you were
no,
growing
not
up.
when I was young.
Yeah,
They've dropped the ball on that because they would have gotten a lot of my money.
It took until like The Hobbit came out
Yeah.
until they actually
Until
made
they
Lord
It was
of
like
the Rings.
and like you see Helm's Deep, which was like one of the best scenes in
Oh yeah.
the whole trilogy. Like really, really, I could have gotten that and played with it forever.
They do have amusement parks that makes you feel better.
Yeah, there are
Lego amusement parks.
there are a
Legoland.
total I
Holy
think of
cats.
4 amusement parks.
You are correct.
Yes,
Jeez.
4 amusement parks around the world.
There used to be one in.
There,
there still
I'm
is
pretty
one.
sure there's still one Legoland at the Mall of America
Yeah,
here in
I've
Minnesota.
seen that.
Their stores are ridiculous. They have bricks
They're made
and
of Legos.
things of everywhere,
For the most
every
part.
kind. They have huge sculptures of people as Legos. It's quite amazing some of the things that you can see. I'm sure if you type like Google search amazing Lego constructions, and stuff. I remember one time watching a video of people. They made a giant ball of Legos and rolled it down the street in San Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
They rolled it down and it like hit cars and stuff. It was funny.
Okay.
But they also have done video games. The first video game that I remember
So good.
playing was Lego Island. That's back for the PC. That was a disc that you put in.
Ooh,
I don't remember
this is old school.
This is
PC
old
gaming.
school PC gaming.
Very rudimentary 3D graphics.
Legos are pretty much the random fandom group of kids' toys now, because every single thing that comes out is eventually made into Legos.
Everything that you can be a fan of.
including the Lego Movie.
The Lego Movie. I
has
was
its
just going to
own
get to that.
Legos,
Yeah.
and
One of the biggest snubs of the Oscars this year was the Lego Movie.
I think it
Everything is
the-
awesome except the Lego Movie not getting an Oscar.
But they did make their own. Did you see that?
Their own Oscar?
Yeah. They made an Oscar out of Legos. And they're like, that's okay, we made one.
That's hilarious.
Awesome.
Touching also on more video games, they've come out with Lego Star Wars. They've come out with Lego Lord of the Rings. They've come out with all sorts of Lego video games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like just the feel of Legos and you also like your favorite fandom things, go check out a video game. They probably have it for different consoles now. But the movie was great.
The movie was so good.
And it really touched on the heart of Legos.
Exploded too. Like they, as soon as I think after opening weekend or something like that, or maybe it's a couple weeks. I don't know. Like they're already like, all right, well, we'll make a second one, and
Coming to theaters near you, 2018.
2018.
Oh my
Something
goodness.
to wait for.
They do have to
Soon
build
wait.
a lot of things for that, so that's understandable. Do what you need to do, Lego, because what you did at first was awesome. Everything is awesome. Yeah. All right, should we move on?
Yes, let's get on to probably going to be our favorite portion. Probably.
Yes.
This is where we get our interests and our views on certain things into this show.
And this is the portion of the podcast that was directly inspired by Screen Junkies movie fights, which you all, again, should check out because they are awesome.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, tell them Random Fandom sent you, and they'll be like, okay, well, thanks for watching. But, so, our first topic of debate / discussion is actually a Screen Junkies movie fight question that is probably one of my favorite questions that they've done, because it's cool. Which superhero would win the Hunger Games?
So if superheroes were put like the tributes into a dome where they couldn't escape from, and they had to fight each other, who would win?
Mm-hmm.
That's the scenario we're talking about.
Okay.
So you have, how many tributes are there in the Hunger Games?
12?
Yeah, there used to be
24.
24.
Yeah,
two from
they-
each.
From each district.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
used to be
12.
13.
Thank you, Katie.
26.
for the fact
26.
check.
Anytime.
Thanks, Katie.
Keep it real.
Keeping it real. So basically we have 21 children running around with 3 superheroes. That's what we're going for. All right, let's kick it off. Josh,
Oh, all right.
who do you nominate as tribute?
I nominate one of the Green Lanterns. I don't really know specific ones, but any would do.
Probably Hal Jordan.
Yeah, sure. Let's go Hal Jordan.
Since
He's
he's the
probably the
best.
most recognizable of the Green Lanterns.
Jon Stewart's pretty great too.
Yeah, but their biggest use is their ring. They can use their ring to create objects, and any of those objects would be extremely useful in the limited supply that they have in whatever environment they are in. And so that's why I give it to the Green Lanterns. And they can also fly, right?
Yes, they can.
So that's pretty useful
That
too.
helps. Helps for
This is very useful.
Yeah.
Matt,
My pick is Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Jake
Marvel
Gyllenhaal.
universe. No, not the not the movie. Nightcrawler, the teleporter. Basically, he has high agility. He can teleport, and I think that would help a lot. Just creating distractions, creating confusion within there, evading other people, And I think he could set up a very elaborate trap with that he could then use to take care of someone such as the Green Lantern or whoever Nick has to fight.
Yeah, good luck, because I'm bringing Wonder Woman to this fight. I mean, it's Wonder Woman. She's a part of the Trinity that is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. She's basically almost as strong as Superman. She is, well, in the New 52, we find out that she is the child of Zeus. So she no longer was formed out of clay, and then, you know, that goes with the whole, like, you can't... The big question was, where the heck do the Amazons come from? Because they don't like men, you know. But the New 52 has a very sadistic way of explaining that now, and it's no longer, I formed this baby out of clay and gave it life via Zeus's power. She's a child of Zeus. So she's got these... she goes toe-to-toe with Superman a lot. So, I mean, that's in and of itself a feat. I pick her over Superman, one, because Superman's not really fair, but you know what? Wonder Woman, in this case, almost isn't either. But she's ruthless. She's not holding back. I strongly urge you to check out the New 52 comics of Wonder Woman, because she just cuts people apart. She's got the bracelets that can deflect pretty much anything. They're indestructible. So anything that you guys plan on shooting at her, she uses with her superhuman reflexes. She can do it with bullets. Probably can do it with lasers. She can fly as well. And she has a weaponized tiara, an indestructible lasso of truth.
That's a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we should only get one.
Well, you have an infinite amount of things coming from that ring.
I don't have a weapon.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler doesn't have one.
You have Catholicism.
I do.
Just
Nightcrawler does have one. Another thing, though, is how would the fans think of Wonder Woman and Green Lantern?
Oh, we have to take into account.
I know that for sure Nightcrawler is a practical jokester and a prankster. He will get a lot of people laughing, and I think people will help him out in that way.
What are they going to give him?
What could possibly help Nightcrawler?
Let's see. Anything.
Right.
Right. They could give him a... well, now we're just getting into hypothetical anything. Let's go with foam to stop people that hardens when it touches them.
I didn't see that in the movie.
That's
Okay, fine. Well, you know what? If you want to talk fans, talk about someone who's recognizable and admired by women and men all over the world in Wonder Woman. She is also an expert combatant. Like, she is just an amazing martial artist and, I don't know what you want to call it, just medieval warfare.
Warrior.
Yeah, a warrior. Why wouldn't you sponsor someone like that? She's a chick. She's jacked, and she's ruthless. And that when you root for someone in the Hunger Games, you root for them because you think they're gonna win. Why wouldn't Wonder Woman win?
Well, what about the booby traps?
Superhuman reflexes. If I can block bullets, I can block a booby trap.
In the movies, they used like big walls of fire to the tributes.
Those are tributes. How would Wonder Woman deal with fire?
Well, she's probably impervious to that, since she is technically a goddess. If Superman can walk through fire, I think that Wonder Woman can.
Okay.
The thing with the Green Lantern, it's a great pick, and I think, you know, when I heard you say that, I was like, nice. Because you bring up a huge point that there is a limited number of resources you can use within that. But, gosh, you know, I'd have to look into it. I think Green Lanterns construct these things via imagination and concentration. So I know in the New 52 Justice League, it's Hal Jordan, and he cannot keep constructs constructed without concentrating. So You know, if you break Green Lantern's concentration, you're limiting that power.
As with Nightcrawler, distractions are going to be aplenty.
Well, another cool thing I was thinking is that since he can make any tools, he can basically make any sort of fortress. He could chop down trees, make barricades. He could dig.
That wouldn't be noticeable.
He could make a maze if he wanted to.
Throughout the whole
Throughout the
arena.
whole thing.
That's a huge construct. An
No,
elaborate
he
one.
could, he'd use the tools to make the maze.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Well, what?
How do you think the game makers would react to that?
I think they'd find it very interesting.
When would they get? Because each game master, is that what it is?
Yes.
Who are the people that are in charge? Game master. Katie, you
Something
want
like
to
that.
fact check that?
On it.
They have their own little personal stamp on everything. So if Green Lantern comes in and starts ruining that stamp, what's going down?
Yeah, they might not like that.
It is indeed the game maker.
Game maker.
Game maker.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. How are your guys' superheroes' night vision, though?
I can glow things. My constructs.
That doesn't
But
help.
Never mind.
How is Wonder Woman's night vision?
Does she need it?
Yeah, because it's going to be night.
All right.
It's the Hunger Games. It takes a couple days.
Yeah.
Not if you're really good at it.
Not if you're really good. Well, Nightcrawler can escape long enough for more than a day. He can make it tonight, and he's excellent at night. His name is Nightcrawler.
Well,
He's excellent at staying in the shadows, hence the color of his skin, and he can slip through those shadows and attack people.
With what though? Like, how are you coming at the Green Lantern and Wonder Woman?
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing for you, because
The traps. He can make traps, and he can also hit them
really hard.
with his tail.
So another thing I want to explore is you already mentioned that Green Lantern's weakness is not having concentration, but what about your guys's? I don't really know too much about all of your. Like I haven't really heard much about Nightcrawler. Wonder Woman I've always heard is like really good, but I know she has weaknesses.
Her biggest weakness is how competitive that she is. I know that Batman. Well, I mean, it is a downfall. Batman, in the Tower of Babel, which is one of the Justice League comics from years past. He has, ever since he joined, he's been secretly, gaining intel on everyone in the Justice League because it's more of like a fail-safe. So if they were to go rogue or something were to happen where they turn on humanity, he would be able to knock them out. And Ra's al Ghul, I'm going to say it one of the ways, got a hold of this information and used it against the entire team, which they all got pissed off at Batman for. La-da-da. It's a good one. Check it out. But Wonder Woman, what he did was he implanted this device in her ear, which makes her see an enemy in front of her who she basically fights until she dies. Like, she does not give up. She's extremely competitive. So that was her downfall that Batman witnessed. Like, she was just so competitive. She would not stop fighting until she died.
So couldn't Nightcrawler do that?
Could Nightcrawler
He
build...
could he be that invisible enemy that she has to go after?
It was basically, she was fighting a vision of herself.
Right, I understand that.
But I don't think Nightcrawler can imitate that.
Can't.
Another thing that I failed to mention is Nightcrawler, or not Nightcrawler, Wonder Woman can move beyond the speed of sound, I believe. She's fast.
Are there ways to hinder this?
Hinder
Her
speed?
or like her powers in general. Does she have a weakness in that regard?
Not that I've seen.
Well, great. I still think that Nightcrawler. I still think that Nightcrawler could be that sort of fleeting image that she's after, though, and fighting. I mean, he doesn't. All he has to do is teleport from place to place. Yeah, she's fast.
At the point where does it? I mean, she's not stupid. No, like I think she'd eventually figure out what he's doing.
And then what would she do?
Not chase him until she dies. I don't know.
Well, then nobody would win.
Then how are you going to win? If you're just going to run the whole thing.
I'm not running the entire thing.
If you're running away.
I'm making traps.
I can make...
You're making traps while Wonder Woman is pursuing you.
I can make many weapons. You can make different kinds of weapons.
What's going on
with concentration, Josh.
With concentration.
That would be fleeting once Nightcrawler came in and made a distraction.
Does Nightcrawler kill people?
I don't think so.
I don't believe he does.
Oh man. This smells. This isn't good for you.
Let's assume maybe Nightcrawler's just kind of dead.
Why? Why would we do that?
Because, well, okay. Just let's get down to it then.
Okay.
How is Nightcrawler beating Wonder Woman? How is Nightcrawler beating Green Lantern?
Bring it.
I still think that he can make enough traps to at least trap Green Lantern, if not...
He's not the Flash. He can't, like, construct traps in the speed of light, or in the speed just teleporting. Like, he has to have time to do this, too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe if you found, like, a secluded area and did this while everyone goes
Well, if
toe-to-toe
Josh is
with each
able
other.
to make a maze, then I believe that...
But he has constructs. Like, he can do, like, 8 things at once.
Okay, well then, how is Wonder Woman gonna kill Nightcrawler?
Probably beat him to death.
Alright.
Yeah,
Alright, this is going nowhere.
Okay.
Well, it's down to 2.
Say Wonder Woman gets Nightcrawler in the lasso of truth, which is unbreakable.
He can teleport out of that.
That's...
Okay, your character is basically just a guy who's waiting it out.
Yes.
That is
that
a tactic
changes
of,
the dynamic.
And,
That is
and
a
who
tactic
did that?
of-
There were characters who waited it out for the win.
Katniss.
Katniss,
Yes.
She did do
the
that.
Fox girl, Foxy, whatever her
died,
name
though.
was. She did. That was human error of berries. What is it?
Nightshade.
Nightshade. Yes. That's what it is.
Dangerous stuff.
Alright, so Nightcrawler is waiting this one out.
Sure.
He's sitting
Okay,
back.
what would be the effects of Green Lantern on Wonder Woman then?
You tell me, Josh.
Well, creativity. I can create. Hal Jordan can create anything he wants. I'm sure he can figure out some sort of weakness. I don't believe that she would do very well without oxygen.
Okay.
And I know that Green Lanterns travel through space. They don't have a problem with this.
Well, we're in an arena.
But I can configure some sort of fan, some sort of vacuum to take away the oxygen from some area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what I got.
That's what you got. A vacuum.
How is Wonder Woman going to deal with that?
This is turning into... My goodness. Well, that'd be assuming that Green Lantern can contain Wonder Woman's sheer power. Because she's broken through constructs before.
She has?
So, yes, she has. Whether it be Sinestro or Green Lantern. So they weren't always friends.
Yes.
But you got to remember, Superman has definitely rocked Green Lantern, and I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm arguing for Superman, but you have to remember that Wonder Woman is upheld in that strength department as pretty dang close to Superman in his earthly form. Obviously, Superman is infinitely strong, but Wonder Woman is obscenely strong. Like, she goes toe to toe with Superman, and the biggest, baddest villains of the DC universe. So, I'm arguing that I think she could break Hal's, if you're, well, Green Lantern. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hal Jordan's concentration.
Sure.
And his constructs.
His constructs and his concentration.
Nightcrawler's still alive while this is happening.
Yes.
You know, now that I think of it, Nightcrawler would be hiding.
Again, he'd be
Wonder Woman and
I think
Hal would be fighting it out.
Probably.
And then Nightcrawler would just come in for the final blow.
At night, probably. Because if Wonder Woman's
At
night
night.
vision isn't that good, how can her reflexes be that good when she can't see what's coming at her?
Superhuman hearing, vision.
Nightcrawler is Nightcrawler.
And
He's made for the night. It's
it's just
equal to
existed
X.
his name.
No, but he's also. It said that he was made for night.
Fine, be that way. I cannot think of a scenario where Nightcrawler even puts a scratch on Wonder Woman. She's impervious to a lot of things. Like, she's got a superhuman healing factor, too. What is Nightcrawler going... Like, the final blow that Josh just mentioned. Where are you getting this?
Oh, I think the fans will have some way...
I believe the fans will figure out.
Okay,
a way.
we're relying too much on the fans.
Well, that's what Nightcrawler would do.
Well, okay, let's assume that Wonder Woman has a few fans, too.
Okay.
Because
Well-
she's a big character.
Well, yeah, but people root for the underdog, too.
Do they?
Especially when they're funny, yeah.
And the game maker will definitely have something to add to even the fight.
The game maker would. We have to take that into account, too.
Yeah. Because it'd be over too soon. That's why.
I think that this has gone far enough. Katie is our mediator, and I think that it is time to come to a conclusion. Who would win this fight?
I would have to say Wonder Woman.
Oh
man.
yeah,
Unless they work out
baby.
some sort of Katniss Peeta draw where both survive.
Okay.
Have
Yes.
Some love story or
So,
something.
do you want to elaborate on your decision?
Nightcrawler's not going to close the deal. He's going to opt out, hide in the
Completely
shadows.
agree. He's gonna tap out. You heard it here. Matt's option: tapping out of the fight. Awesome.
What about
I
what
just
about
want
the
to say
Green
that,
Lantern?
I just want to say
Tools
that
aren't gonna
those
save the
words
day.
never came out of my mouth.
It came from a mediator. Okay.
Wonder Woman's too powerful.
Anyways.
Yeah, Nick, good job. You won our very first
Congratulations.
You guys
debate.
limited me, so I just picked
We
from my
tried-
remaining options.
Yes, we did say
Oh my
Superman
gosh.
is out,
We did.
but then he
Superman,
chose
Hulk, and
Next
Wolverine.
Destiny.
Seriously. I think that we should have closed that a little bit more. The master of DC Comics.
But you didn't.
Uh,
That was your first mistake.
uh,
All right. Should we wrap this podcast up?
Why not?
Once again, this is Random Fandom, the Random Fandom. I am Matt.
I am Nick
I'm Josh.
Katie.
and Adam
Our sound.
on the sound mixer. Yay! Okay. Thank you everybody for listening. Be sure to check in with us. We'll be posting on Facebook once we get that up, as well as Twitter.
Check us out at Twitter. It is at RandoFandoPod. Once again, that is at RandoFandoPod.
Yes.
And we also have a YouTube. And our you may be listening on that. You may be listening to our RSS feed. But YouTube is the Random Fandom Show.
Yes, and our WordPress site where we will be doing all of our blogging and putting our podcast. That is the Random Fandom Show.wordpress.com. And we also will be putting ourselves up on iTunes.
So
at some point,
please rate, comment, subscribe, do all those good things. If you liked it, let us know. If you want to see us fight, if you want to see us talk about some, or listen to us talk about something. Sorry.
You want to see us
If
fight.
you want to see us fight, if you want to hear us fight about something, debate something, if you want to hear us talk about something,
Or if you just have any questions.
any questions, anything at all,
Yeah, be sure to throw in some debate topics.
let us know. Let us know in the comments. I think our email will be up there, so check it out.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Till next time, goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.